What's up, YouTube? Corey the Random Guy here. Another one for the night. Okay, this has to actually do with the cop who got charged for first-degree murder down in Atlanta. Oh, man. It's unjustified charge. Okay, so if you guys look back at the videos, I've watched every single angle of this video. Or of this altercation, right? You have everything that was perfect up until a certain point. Nice, courteous, professional, you know. The guy was, the cops were trying to figure out if the man was okay. You know what I mean? I mean, that's what I would have done. And I'm not a cop. If I would have seen it, I would have knocked on his window too and be like, "Hey man, are you okay? I mean, what's going on? You know?" But with everything going on, I don't blame people for not coming up to the window and being like, "Hey, what's wrong? Are you okay?" Because you never know. The guy could have been spastic and bang, blast you right in the face. You wouldn't even know it. But the type of person I am, I would have went up to the window and said, "Hey, are you okay? Is something wrong? Are you having a medical problem? You know, whatnot. I am CPR certified. Are you having a heart attack or, something? And we'll do CPR or whatever, But, so, getting back to the whole Atlanta bit. Up until the guy failed field sobriety tests, especially a breathalyzer. He was well over the legal limit. Alright? And pretty much any state, you're over the legal limit, you're going to jail. That's all there is to it. So, when it come up to the point where they went to go put handcuffs on him, because they can't just let him go. What the hell? They would have gotten fired for letting a drunk person go out on the road. But this guy started, fighting the cops, resisting arrest, stole a taser, fired the taser as he was running away at a cop. At that point, everything was happening so fast, the cops did what they had to do to protect themselves and the other people around. And if that meant putting bullets in the person, well, you know what? You did something stupid like that, you're gonna get shot. That's all there is to it. Now, when it comes to this police reform, there's one thing that actually kind of bothers me. But at the same time, call me a hypocrite, I don't care. But at the same time, it's kind of a good thing, whatever. Now, when it comes to sort of stuff like this, they have to bring in a social worker. They have to bring in all these other people to basically pat these people on the shoulder and be like, it's okay, it's okay. Well, in some aspects I can see that. If somebody's like, let's just say somebody's suicidal. Alright, yes, bring in a social worker. Bring in somebody that they can talk to so they don't kill themselves. But when it comes to criminals like that, think about it. All the people that have been shot and killed or anything like that from cops, they were all criminals. Every single one of them. George Floyd. Ah, man, I can't. I don't know. Anyway, so George Floyd. he was resisting arrest. He's been to jail 9 times, prison 9 times. He threatened a pregnant woman with a gun and then pistol whipped her. And then he was also resisting arrest and stuff like that. And it's like, okay. But there is something that's very concerning that actually my neighbor sent me today. There's basically a picture of George Floyd getting in handcuffs. But if you look at the person that's laying on the ground, the nose was a little bit narrower, and there was no hair on his head. The guy that was laying on the ground was completely bald. You can call me a conspiracy theorist, you can call me this and that, I don't care. I've looked at the videos. That person that's laying on the ground is totally different. Totally different. Go look for yourself. The guy that's laying on the ground is completely bald. George Floyd had a little bit of hair on his head, kind of like mine. It was very short. And his nose, the guy that was laying on the ground, his nose was a little bit narrower than George Floyd's. George Floyd's was a little bit out here. I mean, I'm not making fun of anybody, how they look or whatever, but I'm pointing out the obvious here. You have all of these people that are up in uproar about police brutality. Now, I'm not saying that there isn't any police brutality, but in these 2 cases alone, the person's different in George Floyd's case. The other case, the guy ran away with a cop's taser and fired it at him. That's just 2 incidences that is fresh in my mind. But looking back in history, when it come to police killing people, they either resist arrest, they were criminals, period, just criminals. And their actions justified their life. I cannot stand how all of this is turning into a racial war. I watched a video today where this white guy was experimenting with something. Alright? He took a Black Lives Matter sign, brought it into a neighborhood that's predominantly white, and a lot of people were just like, yeah, whatever, go about their day. Well, there was one guy in particular that he tested out, and he goes, that the guy, which was white, said, I don't agree with how they're doing this. I mean, I hear their message, but I don't agree with how they're sending the message out. Now, the same guy, later on, took an All Lives Matter sign and went into a predominantly black neighborhood. All in uproar. I tell you what, almost every black person seen that, and they threw a fit. You need to get that out of here. It's like, the guy they wanted to fight him, for crying out loud. It's like, are you serious? It's not just Black Lives Matter. I would love to see a black person who is all about this Black Lives Matter thing come up to me, spilling some shit on me, saying, oh, well, Black Lives Matter, we're oppressed, yada, yada, yada. No, you're not. The only reason why you're oppressed is because you're doing it yourself. And us whites, not our fault that you guys were enslaved. Way back in the day. Back then it was legal right? Back then, Africa was sitting there selling their own people across the globe. But yet you guys are sitting there blaming us. There's a little bit of a problem here. So, anyway, that's my take. I personally think that the cop that had shot the person down in Atlanta is getting falsely charged. And you know what? When it comes down to it and they find out, oh, well, he was falsely charged, I hope he sues the pants off of Atlanta. I hope he does. Because that right there, with a cop being thrown in prison and being charged with murder for something that he was supposed to be doing in the first place, his job, and they find out otherwise later, I hope he sues him. That's uncalled for. So anyway, that's my take on that. I'm done with videos for the night. Like, subscribe, comment, and share these videos. And if you like what you see, definitely subscribe. Hit that notification bell too so you guys don't miss anything. If you are butthurt over my videos, move along. This channel's not for you. So, anyway, until next time, I'll catch you guys on the flip side.